Ça, vous avez mon adresse email? Et je vais vous donner. Oui. OK. Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour.
Good morning, everyone. His Excellency Minister of Environment and Forest Resources, dear friends, Sandra, relative of the district chief, and our partners. We would like to welcome you, as well as our colleagues and guests that are coming in now. This is a very important date for some of us. It's the third time that we can call this one Lumitri, right? Yes, let's call it Lumitri. So Zubepime 1. We've been able to see the progress that have been realized, and it's wonderful that we meet here. And added to that, His Excellency has accepted to come and accompany us in this ceremony. This will help us to continue the work, capacity building that we've been doing, so that our countries might get access to the necessary resource to fight the climate change. And also, most importantly, to focus on the adaptation. And the example of this village in which we are meeting here, thanks to the initiative of Sandra and her colleagues, is a very important example of what we can do in the matter of adaptation. I will not speak for long, but I would just like to welcome you, to wish you welcome to this forum on the mobilization and structuration of the climate finance, with this focus on the reinforcement of institutional frameworks, the reinforcement of the NGAs for GFC, and for the new policies of the Green Climate Funds. So you have the opportunity to also see in action a very great initiative of adaptation that will help us, we hope, to be the pioneers of progress and similar projects in our countries. So we're going to start. We have a very hectic agenda for the 3 days that we're going to spend together. But we first of all, for us not to waste time, for the minister that has accepted to join us, we'll start with the opening ceremony. And so we're going to start with an opening word from the local representative. One of the adaptation issue is the local contents, and we are privileged to see that there's a representative that is here to speak to us about the perspective and what the community is expecting from this. And so after this, we're going to have a word from the Foundation for the Adaptation in Africa. And after that, we have a word from the Initiative for the Adaptation in Africa, as well as a word from the representative of the USAID's, Emma. So before the minister also will share with us his perspectives and open the works of this forum. On this note, I would like Mr. Mayor. Okay. Okay, yeah, this here is the mayor. Okay, I would like to ask you to present your first speech. Thank you. Mr. Excellency Minister, with your permission. In terms of local relatives, there's also the district chief of the Ave who is around. And so I'm humbly the mayor that is welcoming you to on this site. His Excellency Minister of the Environment and Forest Resources, dear brother, Mr. the district chief in our locality, our community, Ladies and gentlemen from the issues of the region and the sub-region, yes, President of SSA, dear partners, Mr. Councillors, uh, community workers, and directors of decentralized services, traditional chiefs, distinguished guests, our protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, green attracts green. And I'll also add that we give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Regarding these two sayings, I would like to say that the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Faure Gnassingbé, is the first leader who is leading the national policy in terms of public action, and in such a way regarding these actions, we can qualify this to qualify him as the President of the Green. Things is under the control of the Minister of Environment, President of the Green, and without hesitation, is trying to make Togo a country of green, without noise and without drums. My dear sister is also doing things without effort, making efforts without noise to get to her objectives. At least from what we've seen here, as everybody can observe, you have to sincerely say thanks to her. The green attracts green because the district is the district of Ave, and Ave, as we have always said it means the forest, Ave. In the local language, Ave is the forest, which symbolizes the green. You've traveled from very far away to speak about the green. You are the ambassadors of green, and you are here in a country who is defending the green, and in the community or district that is defending the green. So you are in your house. Okay, welcome to your house. Thank you. A special honor for me to welcome this forum with the theme that I'll not dwell on, because you all know better than us. And we are very happy with the population of the Wipime to welcome this forum, which is taking place in our midst. And as I always say, it's the districts have a one whose name signifies forest. From long ago, they've been working on the green, and we can inform you that the efforts of the government have helped to avoid many waste and to work with much care the territory. And today, we could count 3 acknowledgements and awards for our district through the protected areas, the reserve areas, and the forest, community forests that are 3. Community forest of Andokome, which covers 104 hectares, and who has received the award of the faith in 2012 at Rio de Janeiro. Andokome is a village of our district. There is another community forest, Andoakweve, of 56 hectares, and another one at Namiseva of 80 hectares. And the reason why we are attached to the green in our community is because we want to preserve the biodiversity in our community, and also make sure that with the climate change effects, we should not suffer much the dangers that that accompany this. And our plan of community development concurs with the climate plan, and we have already made some challenges so that this community project should be centered on the climate change. You can understand that it is quite difficult for us with these elements that have been presented, that if you don't work seriously, you'll not get to this status. That's why we think that the partnership with SSA will help us to preserve these resources and to find a way to carry them higher. I want sincerely to thank SSA and all the team, and you who come from all different African countries to share your reflections with us to help us to keep on this line. We know that to be able to take up this challenge, we need to show our interest that will respond to the innovative solutions that we'll get to at the end of this forum. To be brief, it's an honor for us to welcome you here, and we understand that it is an honor to preserve this status. We need to work very hard. So we wish that we should be able to merit your honor, the privilege you are giving us. So at the beginning of this forum work, we want to wish you to work hard so that you can get your privilege or honor. So with this enthusiasm that is particular to our state, I would like to wish to this forum a success, a perfect success, and that these 3 days in our district will lead you to come back again, and that Zugwepime 1 becomes Zugwepime 2, Zugwepime 3, and Zugwepime 4, and through all this Zugwepime that we will experience, we should be able to ensure the development of all our districts. Because from the achievement that is being done here, it should still beginning. So we should work with more commitment to preserve this. I can say this. I know the Minister of Environment and Forest Resources very well, and the humility that symbolizes the essence of his function. I want to testify that his presence, the reason why the president always puts his confidence on you and keep you on this post. I would like to, I wish you keep this humility and continue to work hard to continue. I love you to put your hands together for the minister and for all the government members, for him, and know that he knows that my words are not invented because he knows me. For him, all the government, and most importantly, the president of the republic, the president of Green. Wish us success to this forum together with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We want to thank Mr. the Mayor, Mr. Zembuko Alexander, always representative of the district of everyone. And now we are really encouraged and okay, you've indicated to us that it's the green, under the green color we can do a lot of good with all the participants that are here. We would like to ask to be on this track. You ask me some, Madam, who is a partner, who is accompanying us in this project. So you should also share a word with us.
and the Ministry of Environment and Forestry for hosting us here today, along with SSA and AAI. We're very honored and excited to be able to be here and be a part of this workshop. As mentioned, I represent a USAID project called the Climate Adaptation Support Activity, or CASA. And this is a project that helps guide and support USAID in integrating adaptation into its programming. And it was created out of USAID's recognition that there is a climate crisis and that immediate action is needed to address that both in mitigation and in adaptation. And USAID has set a pretty ambitious climate strategy for itself, which includes advancing equitable actions for long-term transformational change. And those goals include improving the resilience of 500 million people and mobilizing more than $150 billion in public and private financing for climate adaptation and climate mitigation. And a large part of that they would like to see done through locally led actions and locally led efforts, which I think is why it's so important that you all are here today. In setting those goals, USA does recognize the challenges faced by African nations, the unique challenges faced by African nations in accessing climate financing and in implementing resilience and adaptation. To provide technical assistance and capacity building efforts. They also recognize the importance of convenings like these, where people across the continent are coming together and sharing knowledge, not just learning from SSA or AAI's experts, but also exchanging knowledge and resources with your peers. And that sort of convening and those sorts of networks and partnerships developed for knowledge sharing is what is actually going to make that sustainable change. So we're very excited and grateful to be here. We're really excited. We're here in really just a listening and learning capacity, and we are so excited to hear from all of you on actions you're taking in your own countries and how you're learning and growing from these sorts of convenings and partnership development. So thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you all for taking the time to be here. We're really excited to learn over the next few days.
Thank you very much. We are the ones that are grateful to you. Merci beaucoup, Mr. Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows, to join us in this meeting. This is just an opportunity for us to remember that all this is in an ecosystem in which many stakeholders are involved, and this helps a synergy of the efforts to get to the result that we can see, and for which we are all impressed. And in this ecosystem, there is an institution that is very important that we are privileged to have Mr. Riyad Balagi, who is the representative today. That is the Foundation Triple A. Okay, we would like you, Mr. Riyad, to share with us the perspectives of the Foundation Triple A before we start the works. Thank you, Riyad. You have the floor. Thank you. Actually, I'm almost an inhabitant of the district of Ave. Thank you, Mr. the Mayor, for your speech. The second time that you are meeting, so I'm happy to meet you and to meet you again. Mr. Minister, thank you for your commitment for the climate in Togo, and Togo will be an example in Africa in your initiatives. I also want to thank Ms. Kojo, who is the representative of the adaptation. My sister Sandra, that you have all these, any of these. I mean, the senior ambassador and the representative of USAID, dear friends, colleagues, I'm very happy to see you again. I will not be long because I believe that the most important is what is going to be done in the hours to come. Anyway, we are here in Lometri. I think you have 2 times Rabat. So it is now an incontainable meeting and for the capacity building to be sporadic meetings, but periodical, okay, and sustainable. It's not the only problem is the raising of funds, but Sandra, you better place to talk about this. Among the problems is the capacity building, which is in the governance that is very important for institutions to work together to raise funds, which is not easy. You have very little funds that for regarding what exists, and that's the fights we have been carrying out, Sandra. As the initiative of AAA, we are happy to support every time because we believe that this fight is the nerves of the war of the adaptation. And if you are here, it's not in the hazardous because some people believe in the local adaptation and the solutions that are involved in a natural ecosystem. So you'd have a modern village, ecological village, which is very nice to live in. I know you have not finished all. There are a lot of work to do again, but I think you remember we spoke about that when now you should stop to meet in hotels, but you should meet with people close to them so that people that are around us believe in what we're doing and to show them you are working with them and for them. We are not working for people of the city, but working for people who suffer much more of the climate change, who are around us, and we believe we will have the pleasure to meet. I hope villagers, you are going to meet villagers. So I thank you all for being here, and I wish you a nice continuation, fruitful one. Thank you. Thank you, Riyadh. It is true to. Uh, it's a pleasure to meet again and to see these familiar faces. And this shows that we are making the right choice when we get committed together in the fight against the climate change, particularly the adaptation to the climate change. And we are particularly grateful for our partners like Initiative Triple A and the Foundation, who also is helping us, which helps us. Sorry, which helps us to put in synergy all our energies. So Riyadh spoke about the initiative of the adaptation for Africa. So we will ask the representative, which is us, AI, Ms. Kutumubari, to share with us her perspectives as a representative of the AAI. Thank
The floor is yours.
Thank you, moderator, and good morning, everyone. His Excellency Mobilizing Qatari, Minister of Environment and Forestry, Her Excellency Al Fassi, Mayor of everyone, Monsieur Aziabou Kojo Alexander, Chief of something. I'm sorry, I'm really learning. I'm Anglophone, so I'm trying talk in cafe, FSA, and the entire team, distinguished gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be sitting here in this Ecoverse village, which really was once a dream, a vision. And to be sitting here and seeing this dream come to life is really a privilege and an honor for me as an African. But also it's the realization that indeed it is possible. It really is possible. I'm told that those that came 2 weeks ago, is it in February? This was just almost barren land, and of course with the beautiful forest that it nurtures. But to see the transformation that has happened to where it is now is really a demonstration that indeed it is possible. And this is just an example of what we can achieve when we as Africans work together. And this is a big congratulations to my sister here, Sandra, and the entire SSA team. For working so hard in ensuring the realization of this vision, of this dream into a reality. In where I come from, we say we walk the talk. So we can talk and we can plan for as long as we want, but as long as we don't translate that vision into realization, we are not walking the talk. So this is a clear demonstration for me as an African that indeed it is possible. We can translate our visions and plans into implementation. And this is why the Africa Adaptation Initiative, where I'm from, has launched this forum where we bring these actors together to translate our visions into implementation, into concrete action on the ground that we can physically see and realize those dreams. So this Pan-African Forum, which you are part of, is really a platform where we can engage and share lessons, share best practices. For example, around this eco-verse village, can a village of this nature be done in another African country? In Botswana, where I'm from, what are some of the lessons that we can learn from this realization of this village? And this platform for me is an space for Africans to translate this knowledge to other Africans, for Africans to train other Africans, for Africans to share best practices with other Africans, essentially on how to walk the talk. I'm happy to inform you that for those that know that our coordinator of the Africa Adaptation Initiative, who cannot be with us today, that will be with us on the third day, has now been nominated as the incoming board chair of the Green Climate Fund. And as the Africa Adaptation Initiative, through the year, we want to pursue not only pushing the adaptation agenda or resilience projects that we are seeing in a village like this, but also to promote mobilization of resources by direct access entities. This is extremely important for us as Africans. We've heard the voices of many Africans asking for this direct access into the GCF, which is an important element for ensuring that we walk the talk, we translate vision to action. And I'm also happy to inform you that even next week, through the project, we will be training direct access entities in how to translate these visions into real action, into villages and projects of this nature. And so through the Africa Adaptation Initiative, we want to nurture a process where we as Africans come together as board members of Africa, as national focal points like yourselves, as well as direct access entities to accelerate implementation on the ground for scaled up action on adaptation. And I'm really looking forward to the discussions that are going to come today in the next 3 days to learn from you, to provide that platform so that we can also learn and implement initiatives of this nature. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Il y a des éléments.
There are some elements that you spoke about that are very important. This expression that you use, walk the talk, which is to realize, okay, one, what you think, what you preach. And there's something very important too, which is the sharing of knowledge and the skills among ourselves. That's what we call today the South, Global South. Okay, but also the implementation. Because the most important thing, well, apart from mobilizing resources, but what is more important is that when the resources are available, we should be able to implement and realize all the projects that we have. All this has been said so that we can have a much higher impact. So that in matter of strategy, global strategies, which in the country is done by the authorities. And here today we have the representative of the Supreme Authority of Togo, His Excellency, the Mr. Foli Bazikatari, who is the Minister of Environment and Forest Resources, and who has shown many times his commitment and support for what SSA and other partners are doing. And to add these elements of direction strategies at the level of the not only national level but also regional. We would like you, Excellency, to share with us your perspective, and after this, you should open officially the doors of this forum, Pan-African Forum. Excellency, you have the floor. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Excellency, Mr. Chief Justice of Ave, representing the Central Tower, dear friend Mr. Alessandro, Mayor of the community of Ave, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of public administrations, with your status and protocols observed, Mr. Ambassador of Coordinator of the Initiative of Adaptation of Africa, Madam Chief Executive of SSA, representative of the USAID, the authorities, national authorities, designated of green climate funds, representatives of private sector and civil society, distinguished guests, dear participants. It is with a real pleasure that I'm taking the floor during this workshop of the launching of the third edition of the Pan-African Forum on the mobilization of and the structuration of finance and adaptation to climate. To wish you a warm welcome and to thank you for responding to this meeting despite your different occupations. I would like to express on behalf of the Togo government my gratitude to the Ambassador Alpha Hussein Mafo, coordinator of the Initiative of African Initiative for Adaptation and executive manager of SSA, who has given us the privilege to choose Togo to harbor this third edition of the Pan-African Forum on the Climate Finance and Adaptation. The choice of Zogwepime in the district of Ave to welcome this forum, from my knowledge, is an acknowledgement of the efforts of Togo in taking into account the issues regarding pertaining to the climate change in the policy of development of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that climate change, which is in the heart of international and whose resources, financial resources, are very limited. In the case of their adhesion to the Agreement of Paris in Paris, adopted in December 12, 2015, it seems important to me to recall this. To show their national commitment to contribute to the world global effort to the fight against the climate change and global warming. These country head of states have formulated planning to try to work on the greenhouse gases and to adapt to the climate change. Nevertheless, we should observe that this emission of greenhouse gases and adaptation to the climate change is different from one country to another. It is in this sense that's line that on November 11, that is almost a year, a month, His Excellency Mr. Faure Osozimna Nsingbe, President of the Republic of Togo, at the Accord 29 at Banku, affirmed what follows. He said, in matter of adaptation, solutions need to be adapted to the realities of our countries and our areas, environments. Actually, most of the plans shows availability of implementation, particularly the finance support, international finance support, transfer of technologies, and building of capacities, but also the weaknesses of the national capacities to mobilize financial resources. And thus the necessity to build these capacities for the mobilization of funding of climate. So the needs expressed in different documents of contribution at the national level are thus enormous. And in this sense, His Excellency for President Singbe still at the meeting of Accord 29 said that the issue of the fight against the climate change is a matter of climate justice. In other terms, he wants that for what concerns our country, the achievement of the global plan so the cost is estimated to 5 million billions of US dollars between 2020 to 2030, whereby the necessity to call for bilateral supports, multilateral supports. Regarding the limited financial resource of our countries, it's necessary that African countries work in synergy to identify ways which will help to meet the challenges that comes from the climate change in order to increase the resilience of our population. Of AI has become a yearly event of first order. Gathering authorities of governments to ensure their presence in the green climate funds. These authorities share their nation priorities in terms of funding of development projects in the low emission of carbon, and they play a key role in the elaboration of the strategy initiatives of the GCF in their countries. We would like here to express our gratitude to the SSA Chief Executive for all the support that she is bringing to different stakeholders in the sub-region, West African sub-region, and also for all these initiatives that have been taken in Togo, and most particularly the creation of an ecological universe for the resilience of vulnerable people or ecology universe for with the agricultural parts, medical center, microfinance, and all many others. We appreciate, acknowledge the efforts of the AI and of SSA for their technical support of different order in the organization of previous meetings since 2022, but also the mobilization of resources to support the adaptation and the resilience of the agricultural sector in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important for me to remind you all that the national authorities, designated national authorities for the Green Climate Funds play an essential role of the mobilization of financial resources for GCF for the climate. Actually, the MGA constitutes an entity of the GCF having as mission to watch and to see the implementation of the decision of the Adaptation Board of Green Climate Funds to be able to contribute to the mobilization of funding of the GCF for the private and public sector of local collective local institutions for civil institutions to ensure the implementation of projects in the domain of the fight against climate change. On this note, they play a key role in the fight against this climate change. The MPAs reinforcement projects on the climate resilience and supports projects sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, this third edition of the Pan-African Forum on the Climate Finance and Adaptation has been organized at the right time to build the capacity, national authorities' capacity on the GCF. Especially, it is to help have a favorable environment for the funding of the climate actions and improve the capacity, national capacities to reinforce the strategic approaches and rationalize the procedures of official acknowledgements, and facilitate the exchange of knowledge and the use of the regional tools of collaboration. The implementation of the country strategies for GCF needs the mobilization of financial resources and capacity building, technical capacity building, and institutional capacity building in order to achieve objectives that are assigned to them. So it is very important and opportune for countries to intensify more coordinated actions in our sub-regional space to decrease significantly the consequence of climate change. The mission of this day is organized in this line. I would like to express my gratitude to the AI coordinator and the chief executive of SSA. Not forgetting to mention the financial partners, particularly the USA, through its projects climate adaptation support activities for the efforts that can be engaged to meet the great environmental challenges and the climate change consequences that's imposed on our continent. Ladies and gentlemen, Togo is not the last, it has not put itself aside for the fight against climate change. Since the agreements on climate change in 1995 and the Protocol of Kyoto in 2004 and the Paris agreements in 2017, Togo has taken into account the implementation. This project is core program in order to take part in the world or global efforts to fight against green climate warming, global warming. So in this dynamic, the government of Togo, under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Faure Gnassingbé, President of the Republic of Togo, has confidently engaged into fighting against climate change. This commitment is seen through the integration of environment challenges, and particularly the question of climate change in its legal framework, particularly in the framework law on the environment in the roadmap of 2024-2025, whose projects 2035 will respond to the major environmental risk. It is very important for me to inform you that in the framework of the reinforcement of the legal framework, national legal framework, our country Togo has elaborated since 2022 the projects of law on climate change, which is being worked on for adaptation. Also, regarding the experience of the elaboration of the sensitive budget to the environment and to climate change, with the support of monetary international funds and of the World Bank. Following the other countries in development, the promotion of climate finance constitutes a key objective for Togo. In doing so, the government of Togo elaborated in 2022 the national projects of finance in the fight against climate change. This strategy has as objective to contribute to achieve the objectives of Togo in matter of development and carbon and resilience to of the climate risk in Togo. Togo, after some studies on the vulnerability of many sectors in local level, has started the process of validation of regional plans of adaptation in the framework of the updating of the legal plans. Regarding all that have been said, I can assure you that the government of Togo is giving a good reading to the climate situation, and the actions that have been taken are in perfect coherence with the current Pan-African Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the experience of all actors here present, I have the hope that the results of the forum, the objective of this workshop will contribute to the sharing of expertise responding to the criteria of the GCF for the mobilization of climate finance and to reinforce the resilience of sectors of economic development in general. For this, I would like to invite everyone to seize the opportunities in this framework of sharing with the experts of high level. it is here the place to express our gratitude, the gratitude of the Togo government for the partners here present. The gratitude of the government, because without these partners, we will know the fight against climate change. And also for their different support and their commitments, continuous commitment to accompany countries in the realization of objectives of ODD and the fight against climate change in particular. I have the hope that they will do more for the resilience of our communities. It is on this note of hope that I wish full success to your work, and I declare officially launched open this Pan-African Forum on the mobilization of and the structuration of the climate finance and adaptation. I thank you for your attention. Thank you a lot. His Excellency Mr. Fulibel Katawi. We thank you to have accepted to open the works of this forum, Pan-African Forum, for us, and also to have reminded us the importance of the actors that are here today, the NDAs, and also to have recalled the efforts of the government in the government, the case of the government of Togo has been supplying the action plans, the contribution of the test, the laws. So thank you so much, His Excellency. We'll now go on with the family picture. Okay, because before we start our work, we really like with our guests to take some image for the future generations. So His Excellency, dear guests, we want to thank you once again to have launched this forum. And now we'll go with the family picture. But before that, as you've realized, yeah, Excellency, this forum gathers different countries. Maybe you should take the time to see the countries that are among us. As you know, what have brought the composition of this group is the capacity building for the adaptation of agriculture in Africa. And we are lucky to have among us Niger, who is represented here by the NDA, who accepted to take the lead of this program. And we have 23 countries. Is that it, Sandra? We have 23 countries in the program. And these 23 countries had the colleague from Niger. You have the GRC. See, you also led the green, Mr. So you have the Equatorial Guinea, you have Burkina Faso, you have Chad, you have the Republic, South Africa Republic, you have Conakry Guinea, you have Benin. You spoke about Djibouti, you have a you have Comoros in the Indian Ocean, you have Mali, you have two representatives of Mali. You have the Swatini. The Swatini is not yet around. You have Angola. You have Togo, of course, with the chief executive and Mr. Genya. And have I forgotten anyone? You have Cape Verde. Okay, you have also Sao Tome and Principe. Okay, sorry for that. You have Sierra Leone. I don't know whether Nigeria is represented. You have Liberia.
Et ça, ce n'est encore qu'une partie.
And this is just a part of all the participants. As you know, the calendar of the end of the year is very heavy for or hectic for all events regarding climate change and sustainable development. That's why some people, some guests who are not able to be here. But all those who are here, we want to thank you to have responded to our invitation. So, Your Excellency, these are the people present for this forum. I want to really acknowledge the effort of our sister Sandra to have chosen this environment. People say that they come to Togo, but they are limited to Togo. But at least today they say that they came to Togo and they went inland and they got into inland of the Togo. That's the knowledge of a country. It's not only the capital city. Once again, thank you to have chosen this framework for the meeting. Thank you again, His Excellency. Your guests, thank you. Dada Kamai, do you want to say a word? You have the floor. You can use the microphone here. Good morning, Jerons. I would like to say a word before the minister will leave regarding his obligations and function. It's just to remind you one thing. Imagine climate in Africa. In 2016, during the COP 2022, after the 2021, African heads of states gathered together to create a framework that will help, if everything well done to Africa, for Africa to forget the funding regarding the Protocol of Kyoto and Paris. So they created 3 commissions. Commission Climate for the region of Sahel, and which presidency has given to Niger. The climate change for Basin of Congo, and Climate Commission of African Islands, and this is for given for Seychelles, to Seychelles. So the process has been launched at the level of 3 regions to put into place this commission. So at the level of the Sahel, it has been done officially, and this has been done in 2019. The commissions have been attached to the African Union. So the presidency is in Niger. The commission is functional. At the level of Congo Basin, it is attached to the presidency. But in Niger, it's an executive commission. So, but in the Basin of Congo, the level of African island is Satang. Okay. So we should be able to work in harmony so that things will move at the level of the commissions organized by the head of the in 2020. To thank particularly SSA. I hope that, and it is just unfortunate that your obligation will take you away, but I hope you have the occasion, Sandra, to explain what is being done on this site, because it's a very fantastic example for the sort of sustainable development that we could bring in as an example of adaptation to climate change. So I hope you see us the sites, okay, the virtuous cycle in which we are being engaged here as a group, and Mr. His Excellency will give you a good report on this presentation. And this is a special request that I've made to share the idea There are some others. When we started, we didn't believe that it will be achievable. But today we are here. We can believe that the Africans are capable of doing something. Now, we should also help others to be able to dream. His Excellency, if you allow me, I want to just retrace the story, the history of this, and you have been in the heart of this project that has guided us here. So, all started with an invitation to work on the project of the new city of Kitoko in DRC, which is an extension of Kinshasa. So, when we went with the experts and we did a financial evaluation of the project, it was very high. It's about 4 billions of dollars, and you know that it was not easy to mobilize resources for this. But this project of Kitoko gave us an inspiration. Could we do something at a level less level ladder in our villages? So about $3 million, $5 million, you can do something. So we drafted the project on the paper, as just said. It was just a vision put on the paper. Okay, the MD of Togo, Mr. Guignan, at that time presented projects to readiness, and among these projects, and the participants were very interested by this project and wanted this to be started. We have been invited to present the project to the minister in his office, and he was very happy and said, I want the other minister to listen to this. I want you to organize a meeting with the Minister of Energy, Minister of Urbanism, to be able to find a solution and see how we can put in place this project, implement it. And the minister himself made a report at the Ministry of Council, the Council of Ministers, and we have been invited, got a letter from the presidency to continue this project. Following this meeting, we got close. We got in touch with the Ministry of Urbanism, and it was very difficult to find a field. And by chance, you have been informed that the ministry, the district of Avi, want to carry out this project, to have this project. And so the mayor invited the community to mobilize to identify a site. Up to then, it was still on paper, and down to partners at Tetra Tech, Foundation Open, Bill Gates, Benida, we will be able to put into play this prototype, which was a sort of learning. It was only 20% of the site. Okay, we are learning. So we are not opening it officially. We're going to follow the experience with us up to the time the project will be realized entirely. So that's quite the history of this. We want to thank the Ministry of Environment for the support to this project since the first days of its presentation. Thank you. Thank you all once again, His Excellency. Thank you for your support and to have opened this work, this forum, and we thank Mr. Mayor, Mr. the Chief of District, and we said we are grateful for Lisa Boros to have been around, and Mr. Riyad and Kusum, and also SSA. So your agenda to ask you, Mr. Minister, to come for some image for our archive. Dear participants who want you to join the minister for the family picture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You guys make it. Merci beaucoup. Excellent. So I'm glad you know. Well being there, so that's why I was thinking I just took some paper. So, but thank you very much. Now for the rest, I'm gonna use it. So let's go. Let's go. All right, all right. Oh.
We're waiting. But not the least.
Présentement, vous me voyez là, je sais pas si tu m'entends. Est-ce que tu m'entends? Je sais pas. Hello, est-ce que tu m'entends? Ah, c'est bon? Je sais pas si tu m'entends. Lucas, ça va? Tu as des participants qui ont intervention. I'm no man. Nam la fine, on me le pas dans le trovare.